Fucking with the guy in the world.
Come through those gates right there. Remember you said that you wanted a Tesla? Well, I got you one of those.
I ain't got no fuck nigga cheating.
What started as a hip-hop fairy tale might have just flicked into full-blown drama. Angela Simmons and Yo Gotti? Done. Unfollowed? Erased. And now GloRilla just dropped a line that's got the whole internet buzzing, calling Gotti her sugar daddy. Coincidence or confirmation? Because if what fans are saying is true, this isn't just a breakup, it's a power shift. And the woman stepping into the spotlight might just be GloRilla herself. Let's break it down.
Oh God. I want to thank y'all. I want to thank my label, CMG. Y'all making some noise, motherfucking CMG.
I swear to God, okay?
For years, fans watched Yo Gotti shoot his shot at Angela Simmons like he was writing his own rom-com. Back in 2015, he rapped, "I got a crush on Angela." And just like that, the seed was planted. It was bold, it was public, and it turned into one of the most talked about lyrical declarations in hip-hop. At the time, most people brushed it off as nothing more than a clever bar, until it wasn't. Fast forward to late 2022, and suddenly, Gotti wasn't just crushing, he was winning. On New Year's Eve, the two made it official with matching Instagram posts, showing them hand in hand, dressed to kill, and ready to take over 2023 as hip-hop's next power couple. It was romantic, unexpected, and for a lot of people, surprisingly real. Angela, the daughter of hip-hop royalty Rev Run, had always kept her dating life private. So when she posted Gotti, someone who had publicly pursued her for years, it felt like a full-circle moment, straight out of a movie. But not everything that starts with fireworks ends with forever. By mid-2024, fans began noticing the subtle signs. No more photos, no more likes, no red carpet appearances together. Then in early 2025, the real red flags started waving. Angela posted a cryptic quote on her story, "What flows, flows. What crashes, crashes. Let it go." No names mentioned, but the message was loud. The kind of post that screams heartbreak without saying a word. Within days, fans noticed they had unfollowed each other on Instagram, an unofficial yet very public confirmation that something had gone sideways. And when the couple stopped acknowledging each other entirely, the speculation exploded. Was it a clean breakup, or was there more to the story? Rumors started swirling that Angela had grown tired of being second to Gotti's music empire. As CEO of CMG, Collective Music Group, Yo Gotti was constantly surrounded by artists, meetings, tours, and attention. Not to mention rising stars like GloRilla, who he mentored directly. While Angela had her own brand, her own money, and didn't need Gotti to shine, the growing distance between them was becoming impossible to ignore. And let's be honest, dating a CEO in the rap game isn't exactly a quiet life. Gotti's schedule was relentless, and his business always came first. For Angela, who's built her career on wellness, entrepreneurship, and intentional living, that might have felt like a world apart. Still, the sudden silence from both sides left fans stunned. No drama-filled IG lives, no messy unfollow then refollow loops, just silence. And sometimes that quiet says more than any headline ever could. But as Angela stepped back from the spotlight, someone else was stepping in, and that's where things get interesting. Angela Simmons didn't need to make a big announcement, her actions did all the talking. In the age of soft launches and quiet breakups, Angela's unfollowing of Yo Gotti was louder than any press release. One minute, they were the internet's favorite unlikely couple. The next, completely wiped from each other's timelines. No birthday shoutouts, no date night photos, not even a subtle like on a throwback post. For two people who once flaunted their connection with confidence, this sudden digital cold shoulder was hard to ignore. Then came the quotes. You know the ones, those carefully selected captions that say everything without actually saying anything. You can't lose what's not yours, one read. Another hinted, sometimes the closure you're looking for is the silence you get. Every time Angela hit post, fans hit the comments, trying to decode the hidden message. And while she never confirmed the breakup outright, she didn't have to. When a woman starts posting about peace, flow, and cutting off energy that no longer serves her, yeah, something definitely went down. Meanwhile, Yo Gotti stayed quiet. Not defensive, not dismissive, just quiet. And for fans used to seeing Gotti play the proud, publicly affectionate boyfriend, that silence felt even more suspicious. Why wasn't he saying anything? Why wasn't he trying to clear the air? For a man who spent years turning his crush into a public mission, his complete radio silence now was almost too perfect, like he was hiding something, or someone. And that's exactly when the whispers started. Because while Angela was posting cryptic affirmations and keeping it classy, Gotti was seen spending more time with his artists, especially one in particular. GloRilla, the breakout star of CMG, had been unusually close to the boss lately. Studio sessions, label meetings, backstage clips, they were everywhere together. Of course, a mentor spending time with his protege isn't exactly scandalous, but the timing, that's what raised eyebrows. People started putting the pieces together. Angela dips, Gotti goes quiet, and GloRilla starts shining even brighter in the CMG universe. Was it just business as usual, or was something personal starting to blend in? At this point, fans weren't just speculating, they were convinced. The breakup, the cryptic posts, and the new energy Gotti seemed to be pouring into his label all pointed to one thing. Angela was out, and someone else, maybe GloRilla, was already in. But that wasn't the whole story. Before the rumors, before the speculation, GloRilla was already on fire. She came out swinging with her breakout hit, FNF, Let's Go, an anthem that turned heads, made waves, and put her on the map as one of the boldest new voices in hip-hop. Her raw delivery, Memphis grit, and unapologetic confidence made it clear. Glo wasn't here to play nice, she was here to take over. And Yo Gotti saw it early. In 2022, Gotti signed GloRilla to CMG in what quickly became one of the most talked-about label deals of the year. The announcement wasn't subtle either. Glo was flown out in a private jet, champagne in hand, posing next to Gotti like a boss in the making. This wasn't just a business deal, it was a statement. Gotti was betting big on her, and the industry knew it. Since then, Glo's rise has been nothing short of explosive. She dropped hits, she rocked major festivals. She earned a Grammy nomination, and every step of the way, Yo Gotti was in her corner, publicly co-signing her success and pushing her as the face of the next wave. To outsiders, it looked like a classic mentor-protege relationship. A young, hungry artist getting the tools and support to thrive, and a seasoned exec playing the role of guide, investor, and hype man. But to fans watching closely, especially after the Angela situation, it started to look different. There were subtle clues. Social media clips showing the two laughing backstage a little longer than usual. Interview snippets where Glo spoke about Gotti with admiration that felt more personal than professional. And most recently, a video where Glo jokingly referred to Gotti as sugar daddy status, a moment that went viral almost instantly. It was lighthearted, sure, but with everything going on, the timing felt way too calculated to be random. And that's when things started to blur. Because while GloRilla's talent was undeniable, the attention she was receiving from Gotti began to overshadow the music. Was she simply the label's priority artist? Or was there a new layer to their relationship that hadn't been there before? Critics were quick to say it was just good PR. Controversy always drives engagement after all. But fans weren't convinced. With Angela stepping away and Glo stepping up, the optics spoke volumes. One woman out, another woman rising. And the man at the center of both stories still silent. If this was just mentorship, why did it suddenly feel like a passing of the torch, with a little extra heat? And as the whispers grew louder, the questions started to shift. Was GloRilla just the future of CMG, or was she becoming something more in Yo Gotti's world? Either way, the power dynamic at CMG had officially changed. But what happened next would throw even more fuel on the fire. At first, the sugar daddy comment was brushed off as a joke, just GloRilla being GloRilla, wild, unfiltered, and funny. She's always had a bold personality, and fans loved that about her. But this time, the line didn't just make people laugh, it made them look closer. In a viral livestream moment, GloRilla casually referred to Yo Gotti as having sugar daddy energy. It wasn't said with any hesitation, and she didn't double back to clarify. Instead, she laughed it off like it was something everyone already knew. Within hours, blogs picked it up, clips were reposted, and fans started connecting dots that hadn't even been visible before. Was it just a joke between close collaborators, or a low-key confirmation of something more? Because here's the thing, Glo isn't just any artist on CMG. She's the only artist getting that level of public praise, that kind of investment, and that much screen time with the boss himself. Most artists on labels barely get a tweet. Glo's getting first-class flights, high-profile placements, and private sit-downs that look more like date nights than strategy meetings. And right after Angela's exit, the timing couldn't have been messier or more suspicious. Behind the scenes, whispers began to swirl in industry circles. Some insiders claimed Gotti had been spending a lot more time with Glo outside the label, even making surprise appearances at her events that had nothing to do with CMG business. There were no public confirmations, no hand-holding, no kissing caught on camera. But in the celebrity world, that's not how these things start. They begin with moments, looks, phrases like, "He's just really supportive," or "She's like family." Until one day, they're not. And Glo, she played it coy. She didn't deny the comment. She didn't clarify it either. Instead, she leaned into the energy, keeping fans guessing, keeping the conversation going, and letting the rumor build her brand without having to say a word. Whether intentional or not, it worked. Streams went up, blog mentions skyrocketed, and suddenly, GloRilla wasn't just CMG's star artist, she was the center of its most talked about storyline. Angela, on the other hand, stayed quiet. No interviews, no reactions, no shade. Just more motivational posts and subtle affirmations about peace and energy. But that silence, that was the reaction. And for longtime fans who watched her support Gotti publicly just months earlier, it was clear something had shifted behind the scenes. Something that went deeper than just a breakup. Because when a woman like Angela walks away without a word, you can bet there was a reason. And the deeper you look into GloRilla's new spotlight, the clearer it becomes. This might not just be about music anymore. But what did all this mean for CMG and Gotti's image as a label boss? That's where the tension really starts to build. Yo Gotti has always been seen as a calculated businessman. From the streets of Memphis to building CMG into one of the most respected labels in the South, he's made smart moves, kept his circle tight, and rarely let personal drama spill into his empire. But with Angela gone, GloRilla stepping up, and rumors of something more than mentorship between them, fans are starting to wonder, has Gotti lost control of the narrative? Or is this his boldest rebrand yet? Let's be real, Gotti doesn't move without strategy. Signing GloRilla wasn't just about finding talent, it was about shifting culture. She represents a new era, bold, unfiltered, Gen Z-powered energy that grabs attention fast and holds onto it. And now, with her front and center, CMG has pivoted into something fresher, younger, and way more viral. But that's the catch. Virality comes with chaos. The more Glo shines, the more people question what's really going on behind the scenes. Is she Gotti's favorite because she's the most marketable? Or because there's something else fueling that connection? The label hasn't said a word to clarify. No PR statements, no interviews. Just a flood of social media moments that leave fans to piece things together on their own. And the silence? It's working. Every rumor, every TikTok theory, every "did you see what she said?" was free promo for both of them, whether intentional or not. The controversy has made CMG hotter than ever. Streams are up, Glo's name is everywhere, and Yo Gotti is back in headlines without dropping a single bar himself. But there's a downside to that strategy. People are starting to question Gotti's role as a label boss. Is he blurring the lines between business and personal? Is he creating a space where other artists might feel sidelined? When one artist gets all the attention and it starts to feel more personal than professional, that can create tension behind closed doors. And in the cutthroat world of hip-hop labels, that kind of perception can break trust fast. And then there's Angela, whose silence continues to speak volumes. But for those who followed her journey, one thing is clear: she's not the type to stick around where she doesn't feel valued. A woman who once stood beside Gotti as his peace and balance has now removed herself entirely. That's not just a breakup, that's a shift in Gotti's image. From man who finally got the girl he chased for years to label boss caught in a love triangle, it's a transformation that's reshaping how fans see him. But maybe that's exactly what he wants. Maybe Gotti knows that drama sells, that a little chaos around his name keeps CMG in the conversation. That GloRilla being tied to both controversy and talent makes her unstoppable. Maybe this is less of a mess and more of a calculated evolution. But whether this is Gotti's smartest move or the beginning of CMG's most complicated chapter, one thing's for sure: the next reveal could change everything. Just when the rumors were starting to cool down, GloRilla decided to stir the pot again. In a clip from a behind-the-scenes interview for a music video shoot, she was asked about her come-up and who she credits the most for putting her on. With a sly grin, she paused, looked straight at the camera, and said, "Let's just say, it pays to be the favorite." The internet lit up instantly. Fans didn't need her to name names. Everyone knew who she was talking about. And the way she said it? Calm, confident, almost like she wanted people to finally connect the dots out loud. Was it a confirmation? A subtle flex? Or a way to keep her name trending? Either way, it worked. But what happened next was even more telling. Yo Gotti reposted the clip. No caption, no clarification, just the video. And that silence, once again, said more than any official statement ever could. People in the comments didn't hold back. Some called it marketing genius. Others accused Gotti of crossing a line, but everyone was watching, and both Glo and Gotti seemed perfectly fine letting the speculation run wild. Then came the final twist. Angela Simmons, who had stayed silent through the entire storm, unfollowed every CMG artist, not just Gotti. It was the last nail in the coffin. No more diplomacy, no more peaceful quotes, just a clean digital sweep, like she was done playing the classy role and ready to walk away from that entire world. The message? Clear. Whatever was going on behind the scenes wasn't just about her and Gotti. It was about how the whole circle shifted. At this point, fans aren't even sure what's real and what's for clout. Is Gotti really Glo's sugar daddy? Or is that just part of the CMG marketing machine? Was Angela blindsided? Or did she see the writing on the wall months ago? We may never get the full truth. And maybe that's the point. Because in today's culture, ambiguity is currency. A well-timed quote, a viral clip, a no-comment repost. Those things spark more engagement than a hard confirmation ever could. Gotti knows it. GloRilla knows it. And if Angela didn't know it before, she definitely knows it now. Yo Gotti may have lost Angela, but he didn't lose momentum. If anything, this entire situation has shifted attention and power toward him and GloRilla in a way that few saw coming. Whether it's love, loyalty, or just label politics wrapped in chaos, one thing's clear: the lines between personal and professional at CMG are blurrier than ever. And as for who's really winning, that depends on which part of the story you believe.